Right friends, welcome back to Good Morning New India. This is 4th module, 4th May, and Cabinet approved Central Sector Scheme, that is Sampada. Sampada stands for Scheme for Agro-Marine Processing and Development of Agro-Processing Clusters. And this Sampada scheme will be for a period 2016 to 2020. It is co-terminus with the 14th Finance Commission cycle, and the expected allocation is rupees 6,000 crore, and it is expected to leverage investments of 31,400 crores. And here, what is the purpose of Sampada? Sampada is an umbrella scheme for the ongoing schemes of the ministry like mega food parks, integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure, food safety and quality infrastructure, and at the same time new schemes will also be launched like infrastructure for agro processing clusters, creation of backward and forward linkages, creation expansion of food processing and preservation capacities. What is the objective of Sampada? Sampada was announced in the Union Budget 2017-18. The objective of Sampada is to supplement agriculture, modernizing the agri-processing industry and decreasing the agricultural waste. So, there is lot of waste taking place in vegetables as well as fruits because of lack of proper cold storage facilities in our country. So, Sampada will supplement agriculture, it will modernize processing and decrease agricultural waste. And here another important point is this food processing sector emerged as an important segment of Indian economy, and here 9.1% in manufacturing and 8.6% in agriculture is contributed by the food processing sector. That's why it assumed significance. And recent government schemes, if you see, government allowed 100% FDI in trading through e-commerce in food processing and retail sector. That is one aspect. Second aspect is government already set up a special fund of rupees 2,000 crore maintained by NABARD to make available affordable credit at concessional rate of interest to designated food parks and agro processing units. Third important point is this sector was brought under priority sector lending, right? So, these three important steps were taken by the government in recent times as per Press Information Bureau. And now let us look at the news article in the Hindu. Flight of the common man from the current figure of 10 crore. In fact, the air tickets which were sold were 10 crore in 2016. 10 crore in 2016. Government's intention is to bring them or to increase them to 30 crore by 2022, and government plans that UDAN will serve this purpose up to some extent. So, this UDAN, we already learnt about this. State government and center share is 80:20, and here another important aspect is for the domestic flights on the major national routes, rupees 7,500 to rupees 8,500 will be levied. That is one important aspect, right? Then, if you look at the next news item, BrahMos missile achieves rare feat. BrahMos is the joint venture of India and Russia. It combines two reverse names, and another thing is it is a cruise missile. It can be launched from land, at the same time sea, at the same time subsea. Subsea means from submarines, and from air also against surface and sea based targets. Previously, the range was 290 kilometers, and now as India became member of missile control technology regime, now the range is being increased, and previously it was 290 kilometers, and now the range has been extended to 450 kilometers, and it will go up to 600 kilometers in the near future. So, this BrahMos, this is the missile which can be launched from land, sea, subsea as well as from air also, right. So, this is all about BrahMos. and J&K students to get more scholarships. There is one program, Prime Minister Scholarship Scheme. Now government increased the number of scholarships under Prime Minister Scholarship Scheme. Then package to resolve non-performing assets gets cabinet nod. Cabinet approved to make amendments to Banking Regulation Act of 1949. Yesterday, Cabinet approved to make amendments to Banking Regulation Act of 1949 so that the issue of NPAs can be looked at by Reserve Bank of India so as to facilitate early resolution of non-performing assets. Yesterday, Cabinet approved, and accordingly modifications or amendments will be made to Banking Regulation Act of 1949, right? So, this is the news item, and probably a overseeing committee is going to be established, and bank officials who will take some hard decisions will be protected from investigation, right? Then the next one is RCEP talks. India under pressure to offer deeper tariff cuts. Look into these countries. These 16 countries are RCEP, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Japan, and India, China, along with 10 Asian countries. And here the issue is difficult for India because most of the members are asking for zero duties on almost all the products with only small exceptions. And if zero duties are agreed upon, then Indian industry may be affected, and India agreed to gradually eliminate tariffs, but not on majority of the products immediately. Right? Look at the next one. Domestic steel makers to get preference in government sourcing. Yesterday, the government or Union Cabinet approved National Steel Policy 2017. And one more article is there. There we are going to deliberate. Then look at the next one. Electric buses for 95 lakhs soon. And for promoting electric vehicles, there is already a scheme. Please don't forget. FAME India scheme. FAME India. Faster adoption and manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicles. This started from 1st April 2015 and it is valid for a period of 5 years. And to promote electric vehicles, this FAME India scheme was unveiled in 2015, right? So, please don't forget FAME India scheme. Next one is downside of federalism. This is Business Line editorial. It says that Real Estate Regulation and Development Bill 2015 was implemented, and now several state governments are diluting the provisions. That is the biggest problem, and that's why the editorial says it is a downside of federalism. The point here is this act was passed by Parliament, and state governments accordingly are to devise rules because land is a state subject. But here what is being happened? State governments are diluting the rules and regulations of this act. So, that is the editorial. Then break the chains. Here this editorial of Times of India is quite harsh on the functioning of AICTE as well as UGC. In fact, AICTE as well as UGC requires lot of transformation because nowadays things are moving fast, and now the new year IT jobs require higher skills like cloud analytics, robotics, artificial intelligence, and the overall dynamics of job structure is changing now. But AICTE and UGC are implementing the outdated rules and regulations, and they are not living up to the expectations. That is this editorial of Times of India. Needed standards for Aadhaar data. Aadhaar data, that is, yesterday we learnt that because of some government schemes, Aadhaar data became public for crores of customers, and in this context, this Economic Times editorial appeared. Please go through this editorial. Next one is new steel policy targets 10 lakh crores investment. New steel policy 2017 And please don't forget, at present our manufacturing capacity is around 122 million tons. Our manufacturing capacity is 122 million tons in steel, and as per this steel policy, it has to go to 300 million tons by 2030-31. So, it has to go up from 122 to 300 million tons, and the draft policy says that it targets 10 lakh crores of investment, and remaining things are available here, and the per capita consumption of steel is expected to grow up from 61 kgs now to 160 kgs by the time, right. This is all about draft new steel policy, and yesterday Union Cabinet approved it. Please go through this article, right friends. This is all about Good Morning New India. Have a nice day. Thank you.